get this?
Segue?
Yeah.
Segue?
This, right.
Good one.
Okay.
Good
yes.
one.
Okay.
Trying.
It's the biggest box office weekend of the year, one that so many of us, including Dave, have been looking forward to for the last few weeks. Take a look.
Look, there has to be another way.
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not to take this away from me.
Peter, you're struggling.
Your neighborhood Spider-Man is here to save the pandemic box office. The film already shattered pre-sale records, and sales this weekend are expected to be the highest since before the pandemic.
But before you go out and see the movie, the cast has a message for everyone.
We just wanted to put out a little message.
Asking that when you guys do see the movie.
Please don't spoil it for anyone.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Anyway, this movie is so huge.
And we can't wait to watch it with you this December on the big screen.
See you there, and remember, no spoilers.
But Jamie, you are a spoiler.
Oops.
What you mean I'm a spoiler?
One of the biggest spoilers there ever. Comscore senior analyst Paul DeGarbidian, who was at one of the first showings last night, is here to give us the box office preview of this morning. Paul, very important question we've got to ask you before we start. Paul DeGarbidian, is that correct? We just want to make sure that we're getting it right here. Great.
You got it right.
Okay, good.
I love that. No spoiler there.
No spoilers. All right, so tell us, what did you think about the movie?
I loved it. I went to a 3:45 p.m. showing, and virtually every seat was taken. So that bodes well for those Thursday night previews that at this moment we're waiting to receive from Sony. We don't know the number yet on a Thursday preview. That could be a really good indicator of how the movie's going to perform. If they pack theaters, which it looks like they did, at least in my sample, when I went out to a theater, this could be obviously the biggest opening weekend of the pandemic era. I think it's going to be well over 100 million this weekend. Some have it as high as 200 million for the weekend. I mean, a movie theater is back in a big way. It took Spider-Man, I think that kind of movie, that great of a movie, that big brand to bring people in these numbers to the movie theater.
It's so funny because I have a lot of friends, my age. So let's say late 20s, early 30s. And they said, I called out of work to go to the movie theaters and watch Spider-Man. And it was worth every minute of PTO that they got. So obviously, this is expected to be the biggest movie of the year. So Paul, can you give us your predictions on maybe some pandemic records that this movie could break this weekend?
Well, I think obviously the Thursday preview record will fall. The opening weekend record will fall. I mean, this would be the first movie of the pandemic era to earn over 100 million in its opening weekend. Venom hit 90 million in its opening weekend just a couple of months ago. And that has been the biggest debut, 90 million. Before that, the last time we had a $100 million opener at the box office was in December of 2019, just about 2 years ago, with The Rise of Skywalker opening to 177 million. So this one's on track to potentially beat that. Remember, we're still in a pandemic era, and for the movies to generate this kind of box office, it was unthinkable just a year ago when theaters were still essentially shut down.
Yeah, I for one have not been to a movie in the pandemic. I have said for a while on this that this will be the movie that brings me back.
Yeah.
Will it be the highest selling Spider-Man movie? I think that's north of $1 billion. And is there carryover effect? Just getting back to the theater, does it carry over in the weeks to follow beyond this movie?
Well, the last Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, opened with $92 million. This will beat that by a long shot. To get over $1 billion, that would be the hope for this movie. And so if it does that, that would be monumental for the industry, which shows that the movie theater, both in North America and around the world, is a huge draw. We have to have the movies to bring people in. Like everyone says, what's going to be the movie to get me back in the theater? And I was there yesterday. Everybody was wearing their masks. No problem. You get so caught up in the movie, you forget you're wearing a mask. I mean, Spider-Man's wearing a mask and you're wearing a mask. It's all good. I mean, it's so much fun. And there are so many spoilers in this movie. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want people to beat me up on social media for saying anything here that might ruin it for someone because it's so good. So many spoilers. That's why they put out that PSA or whatever you want to call it, public service announcement, by the stars to say, don't spoil the movie.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Sing 2 is out next Wednesday. My 8-year-old is very excited. Of course, it is the perfect family movie for kids during the Christmas break. So tell us about it. What can we expect here?
Well, I have a friend of mine who saw an early preview of this movie with his kids, and they absolutely loved it. And I think over the holidays, I mean, we have so many movies there. Matrix is coming up, and you have Sing 2. There's all these big movies, but it's going to be all about Spider-Man, Sing 2, and a host of other movies. And West Side Story, let's not give up on West Side Story just yet, because that appeals to a more mature audience. They didn't run out opening weekend. Hopefully on Christmas Day, which is usually a huge movie-going day, people can go watch all these great movies. And Licorice Pizza, the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, is going into wider release on Christmas. So that'll be one to look out for as well. So there's so much to choose from, so many great movies. But Spider-Man, this is a watershed moment for movie theaters. We've been waiting all this time to get a $100 million opening on the books. We're going to see it this weekend for sure.
I told my husband there is no way that we are not going to movie theaters this weekend, because that popcorn with butter, y'all, that hits
Not
like
Spider-Man.
No,
It's the butter.
I mean, but
that
that's a
brings you
part of
back.
it. But Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And don't forget, stay for the end credits. There's,
Okay.
you know, and that's a kind of a convention with the Marvel films to have a little treat there for you at the end. So stay tuned for that after the movie.
All right, we'll do. ComScore senior media analyst Paul Jacobidian. Thank you so much, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
All right, when we come